We begin at index 0, an idea of nothingness formed by a fascination with material somethingness. We invented 1 before inventing 0, zeroing in on the idea that substance must take space. Space beginning at a specific point in time, space beginning at a specific point in matter, space beginning. Our naive proclivity for creation stories belying the fact that beginnings don't exist as we wish them to. We draw borders with the idea that the thing on one side of the fence is different enough from the thing on the other side of the fence that we need to black out a no man's land between them, fill the space between atoms with ink so dense you cannot swim through it. We delineate our time in the same way. One thing ends, another begins. Even if there is overlap, we are already beginning to white out the existence of what came before in order to prime the canvas with nothingness to paint on the existence of what comes after. We assume a beginning assumes a rip in time, a big event, birth, nascence, Big Bang, Apple and Eve, worthy of celebration, worthy of ritual, worthy of memory. Flip the page, tear out the old one, write down chapter 1, begin again. Black line borders on a map of our time. You end your time in Germany and begin your time in childhood. A linearity of time we create by misdrawing the timelines we hold so dear in our crayon-gripping hands of elementary school autobiographies. A closed circle at one end, arrow extending into the other. We draw a line from the closed circle up and out, place our paragraph and header there. I was born. Nothing presumed to come before. True in the realm of our consciousness infused in our brain matter, false in the realization we come to that we exist in a larger world. We can convince ourselves that we understand the concept of an infinite future. Arrow makes sense. While not able to wrap our heads around entire infinity, next too short, we still recognize that time continues ahead of our bodies as we move through it. Time is easier to swim through than ink. We are not so good at convincing ourselves of an infinite past. Our memory is limited. Only so many registers to fill with the data of the ones that came before, past versions of ourselves locked into the bodies of faded prints of earlier versions of ourselves, past versions of ourselves locked into the bodies of our ancestors. Memories of mother, memories of Oma, memories of a woman wearing a red hat, memories of a woman refusing to let children gaze off and daydream, snapping back into their bodies of which I am in some way already a part. Memories end there. That marks the beginning, turning my body away from the knowledge that someone came before the woman who didn't daydream, and someone came before her and before him, forever and into infinity. My atoms existing all the way into the past, always there, never beginning. As we move backwards in time, self-presence fades, and the presence of a trifecta of halo-bearing witnesses strengthens. Parchments and scrolls containing police records of the beginning of time, a false testimony that chisels time as a linear notion into stone. They brought linearity unto a world not built for it. Before the witnesses, we knew of time as a circular event, marked it not by how many years old we were, but by reaching another harvest moon, not counting up but resetting the counter, while loops instead of for loops. In this understanding of circular time, the beginning is lost under the footsteps of so many travels around the track, and found in the shape of it, a perpetual zero. The perpetual zero we also adhere to in computer architecture, building cities in which address 0 is always filled with itself, filled with 0, filled with nothingness, the nothingness we need so we can always move back to ourselves. Move our data from register I to register I plus a move shift value of 0, nothingness necessary to return to somethingness, 1 or 0, on or off, something or nothing, but also that nothing representing something. Universal set. Nothingness necessary to introduce the idea of constant. We allocate index 0 with the task of encompassing all the nothingness we cannot fathom, zeros extending infinitely to the left of a number, just as they taught us in our 6th grade math class, saving us from fence post errors, hijacking our understanding of numbers to translate them to have value that counts jumps and endpoints instead of beginnings. Value in action, not in prescribed prestige. The infiniteness of before, a century at the beginning of the vector for now.